Hey, what up everyone? Jerky Jones here. So today I'm going to talk about the first time and the second time, which is the last time that I ever smoked Salvia. And this is kind of a warning and just me telling my experience of what happened. And yeah, you might want to watch this video before you smoke Salvia. All right, stay tuned. Let's get into it. All right, so first off, I'm not condoning smoking salvia. I'm not saying to try it or anything. This is more like a warning because I smoked it twice and I did not like it both times. Um, if you don't know what it is, it's a plant. You smoke it in a pipe, and it transports you to a different dimension. Basically, like you're totally out of your consciousness. And it's pretty wild. It's pretty intense, super intense. And yeah, like I said, I didn't really have a good trip on it. But hey, to each their own, right? If you want to try it, go ahead and try it. Just don't come crying to me afterwards. So I should mention as well that everything I'm explaining here actually happened. And this is the best way for me to explain it. And a lot of it is not going to make any sense. But this is what I saw. I'm not exaggerating anything. This is how it went down from my perspective. All right, here we go. First time I smoked it, I was like 19. I was in college. I was in a television program. And some people I was in school with were like, oh, we want to film you and a couple other people smoking salvia, film us smoking salvia and put it in our little TV program. It'd be cool, it'd be fun. And I was like, yeah, sweet, yeah, I'll smoke it, yeah, you can film me, no problem. So we went to this guy's apartment. He had a big bag of it. It looked like dry tea leaves. It smelled like tea, whatever. So I'm like, all right. So I sit down. We weren't filming at this point. I was like, oh, I want to try it first before we film it. So I sit down in the chair, pack a pipe, take a big old hoot, held it in for a bit. As soon as I blew it out, all of a sudden I felt like I was melting into the chair. I was like, whoa, my arms got real heavy. I couldn't hold my arms up. Felt really weird. I started laughing, giggling, laughing. And I got sucked into the chair. And next thing I knew, I felt like half of my body was being dipped in water. I was like underwater. And I'm not even kidding. I saw Daffy Duck and Minnie Mouse. Like huge. They were huge. And they took up my whole vision. And then all of a sudden I came out of the water. And I kind of came back to consciousness. Like I lost consciousness. Like I was not self-aware. I couldn't see anyone around me, even though my eyes were open. I just had this visual of me being dipped in water, coming out, and as I was underwater, seeing Daffy and Duck and Minnie Mouse. And when I came out of the water, I could start to see everyone, and I could see the table in front of me, and I could see the chairs and everything. But this is the crazy part. Everyone looked like they were made out of cigarette butts. Like, everything had a texture of a cigarette butt. Even though, the table was brown, all the cigarette butts were brown. My buddy's whole face was made out of cigarette butts, but it was all same color, like skin color, Everything had the same color. It just, the texture looked like it was made of cigarette butts. It was really weird. And I have a friend who smoked salvia before, and he told me that everything looked like it was made out of Lego, which is pretty trippy. So anyways, I came to, and it was really intense. It lasted like 30 seconds, it felt like. It wasn't very long. And I came to, and my whole body was tingling, and I felt really weird inside, like just a weird feeling, like kind of like when your arm goes numb, you fall asleep on your arm goes numb. That's what my whole body felt like that blurriness from the snow fuzz from a TV screen. My whole body felt like that. So I came to, and they were all staring at me like, oh, how was it? And the first thing I said, no, I am not being filmed doing that. because that was way too intense. And I was laughing like an idiot when I went tender, and I had no consciousness, and I was like, no, I don't want to be seen in that state. You know what I mean? So, yeah, so that was the first time, and that's it. I smoked the one puff. That was it. A guy who I was with there, he smoked it, and he's like, I can see gravity. I can see gravity. And it was pretty wild. So that's the first time. It wasn't anything too crazy. The second time was when I was like, no, never again. The second time was horrible. I'm going to explain it to you right now. So, okay, this one's crazy. So this was a couple years later, right? I was in Ottawa, Ontario, Canada, and there was a store that sold like pipes and bongs and all that, and they were selling Salvia. And I saw they had a little vial, and it said 35x strength on it. And I was like, oh, is this Salvia? They're like, yeah, it is. So I was like, oh, cool. So I bought it. I don't remember how much it was. I went to my friend's house. There was a bunch of people there. They were all like, yeah, we want to try it. I was like, I'll do it first. I'll smoke it first, show you. Because I smoked it before, and none of them had ever smoked it. So I was like, I'll smoke it. This time it was like, it looked like shredded up chewing tobacco. It was real black and thick, and it wasn't leafy and flaky like tea leaves. It was some heavy duty shit. So I packed the bowl, took a huge hit, held it in for as long as I could, and when I blew it out, I don't remember anything after that. Like I sunk in my chair or whatever, and what I experienced was the feeling that I had died. I experienced death, and it sucked. It was not fun. And it was almost instant. As soon as I puffed it out, I thought that I had died somehow, like I don't know how, and I felt my soul leaving my body. It was being pulled out of me, like as if I was peeling a Band-Aid off. Like it was like, no, and I remember fighting it. I was fighting it as hard as I could not to die, I guess, or not to have my soul leave my body. And I remember being like, no, and it was like, it was slow. It was trying so hard to leave my body. And I remember everything was gray. And I remember hearing two voices, and it was my mom and dad. And they were going, Simon, that's my name. Come on, come to us, Simon. And I was like, no, I'm not ready to go. And it was right then, it was like, felt like 15 seconds. And all of a sudden I woke up, and I was standing like 4 feet away, and my buddy was holding my arm, and I was sitting when I took the toke, and I was standing facing the opposite direction, like 4 or 5 feet away, and my buddy was holding my arm going, Simon, are you okay? Are you okay, Simon? And I was like, oh, I was standing there with my arms out. I was like, what the fuck? And then everyone was like, are you all right? And they were all like, we're not doing it. And I went like, holy shit. And I felt real weird. It was a trip, man. And they said that I had been, to me, it felt like 10-15 seconds. They said I was tripping out for like 3 to 4 minutes. So, I mean, anyone could do anything to you, and you would have no idea. You're totally out of it, which is kind of scary, kind of trippy. So anyways, man, that night I could not sleep. I got like PTSD from it or something. Like it felt real. I'm telling you, it felt friggin' real. It felt like I had died. Like I experienced death. And oh, it was horrible. I couldn't stop thinking about it. It really scared me, to be honest. It was something I'll never forget. And it was horrible. And that was it. That was my experience. And I had that little vial for years sitting in my house, and I never touched it. Never wanted to even try it again. I ended up throwing it away. I said, screw that. I ain't touching that stuff anymore. So that's my Salvia experience. And I have a buddy, the same guy who said he smoked it and everything turned to Lego. He said he's never done it again. Has no urge to. It's intense, man. I don't know what else to say. It's an experience. If you want to try it, by all means, try it. You might have a different experience. I'm sure everyone does. I had a horrible experience, and I'll never do it again. It's enough I need. So anyways, I just wanted to share that. I made a video last year that said how I started believing in God, kind of. And that experience ties in with my belief in God, kind of. Or at least not God, not like a Christian God, but my belief that there's some sort of afterlife, or you have a soul, or there's another dimension. It kind of plays in with that. I don't have it all figured out yet, but but it was an eye-opening experience, to say the least. And I think there's definitely, I think when I smoked it, I tapped into something, some sort of different realm or some sort of different part of the brain that you don't usually, you can't experience any other way. So anyways, I hope you all enjoyed that story. I've been wanting to make this video for a little while now. And yeah, that's really all I gotta say. Just think twice before you take a big hoot of Salvia. Make sure you're in a safe spot. Make sure you're not at a wild party, lots of people around, because you might wake up with your dick cut off, or your nose pierced, or someone's scrotum in your mouth. So anyways, folks, hope you enjoyed that. Thanks for watching. Jerky Jones over and out. Peace.